My profane friends, look, there's a cat there with a swastika on his head or something. But I was just speaking to someone, not today, Satan, with the sun hieroglyph and that. But I was speaking to an emu or an emo or whatever it was they are, yeah, like that girl there. Look, she's gone up there with her, I'm saying, and she's got like the, I don't know what they call it, like the black and white tile floor handbag and all of that stuff, and then you got this girl here, look, with the Masonic bees on, look, you see. The Sonic bees, see it, look, and the Sonic beehive, and that's the thing with it, anyway, I was speaking to a couple of them, there's like 3 or 4 of them, and I'm saying, so what are you? And they didn't even know what they were. They couldn't get an identity or identify to what they were or understand what they were, do you know what I mean? And I didn't understand that, but it's just like strange, and again, look, if you look here, look, across, you see the 3 circles, look, 1, 2, 3, it's black and white, again, it tells me it's Masonic. You see what I mean? Because 3 circles make a square, and then it's 3 squares, 3 circles, you see? So why is that? You know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell? But you try and question it, and people don't understand it, and that's how it rolls all the time. And I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, I was speaking to, how can you, like, if they can't even identify to themselves, then what chance have we got? Do you know what I mean? What chance have we got? Do you know what I mean? Because you ain't going to educate them. You know what I mean? Because their education goes as far as Satan and whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? A girl's just left now, who I spoke to, one of them. And she couldn't identify. She didn't know what she was or who she was. I didn't get into it asking her sort of directly. I was saying, what's it all about? And that she go, we don't know. All I got from her is I don't know, I don't know, basically. You know what I mean? And they couldn't say who they are or what they are. Do you know what I mean? So they're all losing their identity, basically. If I could ask other girls or whatever, blah blah, or women, and they can identify. They know who they are. They know what they are. They've got where they want to be. These emos or emus or whatever they are. Here she is. Look, she looks really good though. I've got to admit. Like in the punk rock days and that. Look, but look at the bag. Look, the black and white tile flat. I think she looks good. She does. You know what I mean? She's now here. She see me filming her and she's just run off. But she, they do look good. And I think that's good for fashion, which it is, isn't it? It's good to be fashion. But I think if it's got that underlying sinister, that sinister society of Freakmasons running it, yeah, and don't forget, these are the people that are getting all the money for the products, and they're telling you there, look, it's a damaged society they want, they want the society to be damaged. Because while it's damaged, yeah, people ain't going to try and, you see what I mean? It's easier to control, you know what I mean? It's all about that control. Order out of chaos, you know what I mean? And if that's the way they're rolling with it, they're going a pretty good way, do you see what I mean? All that skulls and, Satan this, and the hexes they're putting on kids and that, because they're all youngsters, they're not like I said, there's a few old men in here and a few older women. But I didn't know if they come from the punk generation, But all the youngsters seem to be right into this, It's all about wearing, I don't know what it is really, but it's all wearing black and white tile floor. I just know the Freakmasons are behind this, Yeah, damaged society, that's what the shop is, I suppose, It's just that I just don't get it, you know what I mean? Something did shit. No, same old shit, look, you see, where it's boring, look, you see, but with the sun hieroglyph above it, you see. But I don't know, I just can't understand it really, It's got the next generation, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where am I? Wait, I can't see because I've got the window, where is it? The hell? Oh, there it is, yeah, look, the next generation, yeah, next gen. But I know in them little A's, they're sneaking in their symbolism, and people are overtaking it, and I don't understand why, or how they're getting away with it. I just know it's got that Masonic undertone, of Freakmasonry, and if they are controlling the narrative on that, we need to take that away from that, do you know what I mean? We need to take it back, look. the pedo swirl in plain right. There's 3 pods. You know, it's there. It's not been hidden. It's there. I know, for instance, that these A's with the here, look, that's the Masonic A. Do you know what I mean? It's the Masonic A, but they hide it again. It's that symbol. It's just a plain symbol, just by that one slash that goes down. Yeah, I know that makes it the Masonic A for Freemasonry. So they're the ones controlling that narrative, you know, all the time. But I don't know. It's just like weird. You know what I mean? It's got the rainbows in there, the Masonic apron, black and white tile floor, lots of circles, lots of squares, lots of pyramids. You know, and you ain't going to get that anywhere, do you know what I mean, unless you're talking Freemasonry, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and that's what it's all about. And that's what it's all about, my profane friend, you know what I mean? See, he's got the black and white top from the punk era, you know what I mean? I do like that top, actually. You know what I mean? Not because it's black and white. I do like that sort of style. I think that's mohair. Is that mohair, mate? The jumper, mohair? Oh, you didn't know, no? Oh, yeah, that's quite cool, that is. That reminds me when I was in the punk area, you know what I mean? Yeah, I like that. It's cool, I like it. Yeah, it's sweet. Yeah, it's nice. Let's feel it. Oh, it's cashmere, is it? Or mohair? So, oh, no, that's not mohair, because mohair is more fluffier, isn't it? You know what I mean? Back in our day, it was mohair, do you know what I mean? Like mohair jumpers and that, you know what I mean? But that's cool, I like that. Yeah. So what, are you an emu or an emo? What are you?
I would say relatively like goth.
You're a goth.
Yeah,
okay.
so's my mate over there, and he's really emo.
No, I'm not.
What are you?
I'm
emo.
I'm not anything.
He's also trans and
No,
gay.
I'm not.
So I don't know. You won't accept it though. Like,
Yeah.
Shut up. He's being a
Finally,
like his president, that's this man.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think they're cool. I just, yeah, that's cool. I just like it. It's good. You know what I mean?
it's so hot.
Yeah, it's hot in here, isn't it? I don't know why the bloody heating's on, innit?
It's
Christ.
like 70 degrees, isn't it?
Yeah, it's well hot. But yeah, I think that's a cool look, you know, like I said, you know what I mean? But do you understand the black and the white tiles? Why they use that, like in the hats and that? That comes from Freemasonry, that does, you see? Which is like the 3 circles there, look. And the 3 squares and compass and square, you see?
Yeah.
So there's like undertones of Freemasonry in here, which is like not very good, you know? Some of the runes, you know, are like Masonic as well, you know, and they get us to put runes on ourselves, like pentagrams and things like that. I suppose that's what the thing is, you
Pretty
know?
satanic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If it's got satanic undertones, do we want that, you know, within society? That's what I'm sort of like worried about, you know. It looks all good, you know, and all of that.
We're not worshipping demons right now. So
Oh, no,
I think-
no,
yeah,
not yet.
We're not yet, anyway.
Not yet. What do you mean, bloody not yet? Watch him. No, but yeah. But what? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you can do it unwittingly. Do you know what I mean? You can like worship something unwittingly. Like if I give you a tattoo, and before I put that tattoo on you, I did a pentagram, cast a spell on it, and then gave you the design you want. That what I've just put on there by magic has left that imprinted on your skin. You see what I'm saying? And what they do with records, they prey on records and that. You know, if you do the research, you know, they do satanic rituals on the music industry, and they're doing the same with clothing designs and everything like that. You know, so it just worries me, you know, that some people are unaware of the, you know, the symbolism of certain things without even going into it. You know, which is quite worrying. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's not. That's it. You know what I mean? That's the basics of, you know, what I like. That you see that T-shirt up there? It's got 4 pyramids in the corners. Look, you see it? The black square, like next to the smiley face to the left. Yeah. Third T-shirt in the wall. Yeah.
Kind of Ouija board.
Yeah, kind of. That's it. Yeah. If you look at the A's in there, you'll see they're like little ticks. And that's a representation of a square and a compass, you know. I ain't got to hold you up, you can go, mate, you're all right. But anyway, thanks for talking to me, it's real cool looking, you're all right, yeah? Thank you, have a good day, yeah?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for talking to me, yeah? See you later, guys. Yeah, you're right. There they go. You know, they're just youngsters, you know what I mean? Look, they're really cool, you know what I mean? But, like I said, if that is, like I said, they're getting hexed, you know, by this Freemasons, yeah, and talked as a like an alternative, you know, thing. Where do we stand in society? You know what I mean? Like I said, it's all about divide and conquer. You know, like back in our day, it's the rockers, the mods, the skins. Do you see what I mean? All that divide amongst, because they don't want you talking or getting on. You know, instead of saying a society, we are the people, we all get on and we are all this, you know, so people are all standing as one. They don't have that, do you know what I mean? They want that divide and conquer. Oh, he's a Chinaman, he's a German, he's a Frenchman, you know what I mean? He's a Russian, do you see what I mean? All that divide starts with countries. Who divided the countries? Do you know what I mean? Why? You know, why isn't it just all humans, you know, regardless of who you are, you know, black, white, green, purple, whatever. They don't want that, because they want that divide and conquer. And as long as people are divided, yeah, or don't speak to someone because of their religion, or because they're wearing the wrong shoes or the wrong football shirt or anything like that, that's, you know, that's what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? No one's ever going to be able to suppress the evil in the world, you know. And that's the thing with it, you know, there's always that mistrust. You know, I'm not saying you've got to trust everyone, blah, 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 but people know good and people know evil, you know, and sadly the evil always outweigh the good, because the good ain't willing to do something like the evil are. You know, evil men or whatever, evil women, you know, they're willing to stab, shoot, kill anyone, yeah, on a battlefield. A good person on the battlefield would try and shoot above the people he's attacking, you see, and that's confirmed. You can research that, I don't need to go into it, but they'll shoot above the person's head, do you know what I mean? You know, so they don't kill someone, you see what I mean? So how can good people overtake the bad? Do you see what I mean? That's why you've got drug dealers within your community, because they're willing to boot your door in, do the bird, smash you up, kill you, do whatever, and do the bird, do you know what I mean? They'll try and get away with it. But as you know, most murderers end up in prison doing life, you know what I mean? But that's the point of it, you know, and it's about getting away with it. But they have them people that do that trickery for you, you know, the Knights Templars, the G-Travellers, but they do it in secret, and they do it because they can get away with it, because they control them top echelons of power, do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. As long as you control the police and all them judiciaries, magistrates, yokers, or whatever they're bloody called, you're going to get the power, you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. You know, look, this top here, look, you see it, look? She's on the square, see? I know she's profane, it's 232, look, and 323. That's how they get us wearing their shit in society, you see? You know what I mean? They spot the profane, you know, and it goes on and on and on. You know, you look at TV adverts. What are TV adverts? They're just all little cartoons. You see what I mean? There's nothing serious about an advert. They're all cartoons, you know, because that keeps you little, you know, your mind in that little zone of you are a child. You know what I mean? They treat you like a child, you know. It's mad the way they get away with it all the time. You know, you see at traffic lights, you know, people across the lights, there's no cars coming, there's no traffic, no people, but you've still got to sit on that red light for that extra, you know, minute, waiting for the red traffic light to go green, because you're not responsible enough to go, oh, it's clear, I can drive. Do you see what I mean? You know, they don't give you that grace, because they treat you like children, you know what I mean? You're not responsible enough to obey the laws, and all they're doing is making more and more laws that keeps us encased in that prison. Do you see what I mean? And that's what they do over and over and over and over again, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, my profane friends, that's me in the old shopping set, you know what I mean? Have a great day, and all is good. Yeah, but the people in the shop now, like the owners, yeah, they're now speaking about me, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, obviously because I was speaking to a couple of customers and that, but maybe I should just go in there and just reassure them what I'm actually speaking about, but they can get it on my video anyway. But I'm not saying anything bad about it, you know, they're just shop workers, yeah, they're profane, there's not a freak-mason amongst them, do you know what I mean? You know, they're just, again, working for the Masonic nation, yeah, of corrupt people, and not even aware they're doing that, do you know what I mean? Whereas if people are aware, they go, fuck you, you know what I mean, we're not going to eat, we're not going to shop in your damaged society, we're not going to, do you know what I mean? But they need a wage, that's where they, you know, because they can't afford to live, so they have to work there. But unbeknownst to them, they're actually working for the Masonic order of corruption and satanic nation of people. Do you see what I mean? And that's what they get us doing. Same as fighting their wars. It's always the same. We fight amongst ourselves to protect and keep our slave masters in power. That's how crazy society is today. You know what I mean? It's mad, isn't it? But anyway, my profane friends, you know, look at this, look. Rainbow bubble tea, how wonderful. What a cartoon, you see what I mean? See? Again, look, another cartoon. See? Another little cartoon, look. See? It's all, you know, bloody hell, I ain't got to explain McDonald's to you, have I? You know? But that's what it is. It's all to do with cartoons and that, you know, that, you know, I don't know, it's just mad, you know? It does me nothing, you know what I mean, my profane friends? But even this, to me, when I look at it, you know, and you can't get it wrong, see, this is a square, that's a circle, and that's a square, see? And you got your pyramid right here within the square, you see? But that's just another conspiracy, and that's taking it a bit too far maybe. But again, it's still that same thing. Square, circle, pyramid, you know? And I see it everywhere, you know? Madness. But it's all crap and tack, that's all we buy, yeah? So long as you're spending all your money on this crap and all this tack, you know, millions of people are buying this, yeah? All the money's flowing up, yeah? What's going into society? You see what I mean? And the shop workers, obviously, they're profane and working for them people just to keep people poor, you know what I mean? No one's helping anyone make or benefit any sort of society. They're just consuming all the money all the time, and it flows up. Where do you think all these products come? They come from the Freemasons. Look, the all-seeing eye. You see what I mean? It's everywhere. It doesn't matter where you look. It's all Masonic. You know, I don't know if you know that. Look. See? The old TARDIS, look. He was a Freemason. So that's why they put the point within the square. All of it is like the same thing over and over again. It don't matter where you are or what you're dealing with. You know, Star Wars, look. Blue Lodge, Red Lodge. You see what I mean? It's always the same. It doesn't matter where you are, what it is, the films, you know, the TV, you know, it's always the same, you know? Always the same. Crazy, crazy, crazy. You know what I mean? But that's what they do. They hide it all in plain right, and you just don't understand it. Well, society doesn't understand it, should I say. You know? Oh well, anyway, my profane friends, that's another moan about Freemasonry. Have a great day.